What is up, YouTube or whatever social media platform you find these videos and clips on? It's your boys, your favorite dynamic duo, popping back in with you just to check in and see how you're doing. Just kidding, we're not doing that. We actually have some purpose today because the world isn't just centered around you, Ryan. What up, Ryan?
How did I catch a stray?
I just got to say, I
You
sent a
asked
certain.
you you asked me to be on your podcast, and I just caught a stray.
You're right. I just got to
You
say, I
sent a
sent a
certain someone
certain
what?
a text message telling them what I was about to be doing with a picture attached, and the response was, "Per, okay."
You sent a certain someone? Yeah, okay.
If you know, you know, you know,
Clown shit.
as
Per the
always.
usual. Hi everyone. We're back.
We're back. It's me, your favorite gunkle. No, okay, so like I think I watched this house.
Bro.
I watched this house in January and I like took a picture of the coffee and then like one of my old clients' husbands, Scott, he DM'd me. He was like, "Oh, your favorite gunkle, huh?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't even comprehend that." So just
You are such a clown.
I feel like it's always something, dog.
You know what, everybody? That's what we call allyship. That's what we call showing support.
Yeah, supporting the kids.
That is comical.
Yeah, so different background than my typical shitty light setup that you'll see in my room. I could never with this type of decor. You see this table back here? It's got a fucking like a painting. I have like a Mac Miller poster in my room. That's the extent of my decoration. So watching my old boss's house. You've seen this house before. I did some vlogs and shit, cooking videos in this kitchen because it's dope. But that's where I'm at this weekend. It's been a good weekend so far. Got some good training in. Ryan, how's the weekend been, dog?
Good. Pretty uneventful. Also got some training in. Got to see some friends that were in town. Got a tux alteration done yesterday.
Ooh, for which have I seen the tux before?
I wouldn't imagine that you have. I
Gotcha.
mean, it's just a standard black tux that I'm wearing for one of our friend Christopher John's weddings that
And
I
that's
will
this
be
week, right?
also officiating. No, it's not this week. It's not until the end of April, bruv.
Oh, I thought it was this week, this Saturday.
You thought I was getting a tux alteration done yesterday for a wedding that was a week from yesterday?
You be putting shit off till the last minute, bud.
Not that kind of shit.
Yeah, you're right. You don't do that. That'd be something I would do. I still haven't done my
That
taxes.
thank you. Thank you want to talk about putting shit off to the last minute.
I
Tax
still
day
have
is
time.
next Monday. Next Monday, April 15th. PSA, I don't even know if this is going to go out before then, but PSA to everybody that might be consuming this content, your
Dude.
taxes are also due on April 15th,
Yes,
unless you apply for an extension
and you can make Roth IRA contributions and claim it in the year of 2023 up until April
up
15th.
until April 15th. Yes, correct. But you can only make Roth IRA contributions for the year of 2023 up to 6,500. Was 6,500 the
Yep.
max last year?
Yeah, or if you're over 50, there's $1,000 catch-up, I guess, exception. So you can contribute 7,500 if you're over 50.
If you're over 50, what are you doing on social media? What are you doing listening to this podcast? Unless you are a parent or relative of myself or young David over
I
here.
actually do have a couple people that will be watching this. I am almost certain they'll be watching this over 50. Some people
All
that
right. Hi.
support the brand. What's up?
Hey.
$7,500. Earned income only. You can't be, I don't know. People think that they can claim Social Security and put that doesn't qualify, unfortunately.
Can
Who
you
would have
guys
known
tell
that they're
that Dave works? Can you guys tell that Dave works in finance now?
yeah, and that's all the
Big,
calls and
big finance
concerns.
guy. I'm sorry, excuse me, finance. Big finance guy.
I hate when people say finance. I'm like, stop. Macy, don't do that. Good girl. Go lay in your bed. I'm watching the cutest French bulldog, and she's currently digging at the couch. I just have a feeling the couch is expensive. I don't know that for a fact.
I'm gonna say something, and you have to cut it out of the final cut. Okay.
Okay.
You're not going to, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
I was like, I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Even though I politely request that you do these things, you saying good girl on a podcast,
It's to a
there's an
dog.
audience. There's it don't fucking matter, my guy.
Oh.
There is an audience out there that is quite thrilled to be listening right now.
That one works.
Not to me, but
That one works surprisingly well. I don't get it.
dude, there's no surprise there. What are you talking about?
Dude, it's just like, why do you get off by me like complimenting you as if you were a dog?
It's not, it's your context of it has nothing to do with what the actual context of it is.
I think
Like
the cadence.
you associating it with a dog is not the association that she's having with it.
Yeah, but like it's a
You see
different
what
cadence for sure. It's like I'm like Macy, good girl, but it's like good girl. No, 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 wait,
No, that's not how it is. You say it exact.
good girl.
You say it in the same. Yeah, I was gonna say you say it in the same cadence, but the tone is different. It's not a different cadence. It's the tone.
Yeah, I'm just checking on that
Are we
dog.
on some sort of time limit here today? Are we?
I'm not.
Do you have
I'm
less?
not.
You don't. I just meant with the service where I'm used to us
Oh
having to
no.
like we've got we get 40 minutes before Zoom is like, nah, bitch, get the fuck out.
Hey, I'm on that premium shit, dog. We got our names up on the screen, so go ahead, follow us on Instagram. We got a little border that I made on Canva, transparent background type shit, Slaughter Gang shit. So we're pretty legit.
Not not the slaughter gang shit.
All right, Ryan, what are we doing in this
Clown.
video? What is the purpose?
Dave, you tell me. I think we're talking about some training stuff, some updates from the last time we chatted. I think you were gonna read me for filth and my RIR understandings, and that's all I've got. I'm
Yeah,
sure you have some bullet points. Come on, let the people know.
I do.
You
I
want to put
do
them
have
up
some
on
bullet
screen?
points. No, that would be a lot of work, so I won't do that. But essentially, what we're doing today is going through some of Ryan's form, breaking that down so that you all can see kind of like the way I critically think about form, the way that it goes down in execution, and also like you mentioned briefly, just kind of like catching the people up briefly, seeing what's been up since we did a video. I want to say probably 2 3 months ago. So made some gains along the way, and it's been a good time. Let's see. I'm gonna pull up at the end of the cut. Where was that one? That's a good shot right there. What do you think? Mid-December. That dog is going crazy. Mid-December, we'll do a little comparison real quick.
I think
Sorry,
you
as I
should in this particular comparison.
yeah, but now we're gonna do the bulk update, the thick daddy update.
Oh God,
Oh God. All righty.
embarrassing.
No, not at all. Whoa, that got really big.
Wow.
All right, we're gonna put.
Oh,
I
I,
clearly
this
don't
is
know what I'm
fun.
doing here. Screen layout. You would think when you push screen layout, I might have to share another tab. That's where I'm fucking up here. Bear with me here. So Ryan, tell the people while I figure this out, like what has the body weight been doing? Um, how's the bulk been? We've been bulking for a minute.
Yeah, the bulk's been slow, which is to no one's fault other than my own. And just trying to like get food down, get enough food down. Um, it's just kind of like an appetite and like a schedule thing. Um, yeah, I mean it's been slow. It's been like the training has been good. I feel like, you know, up and down occasionally, but for the most part, like pretty strong training and just like putting the work in. But again, like I think we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But it's been slow. Um, the appetite didn't come back as kind of fiercely as it has in the past after we've done like even just like mini cuts or things like that. And now that we're into like a true bulk and needing to like really up the calories, it's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, yeah, I hear that. Um, just want to talk now that I finally figured out how to share my tabs. Man, let's look at this real quick. When I zoom in here, does it zoom in over on your end?
It does. It does.
Dope. Okay, so we get that brand new tattoo right here, looking real slick, real dope right there. Um, Ryan, if you were to guess, what would the weight difference be between December 13th and April 6th? Do you know, or just guess for me either way?
Um, I would say somewhere between like 5 to 10 pounds.
10 pounds exactly, which is pretty crazy. We have a little bit of a loss of ab definition, but we still have visible abs. And, we just had that conversation like, where's the weight going? And it's pretty clearly that we're just putting on muscle for the most part. We have some fat gain. You're always going to have some inevitable fat gain. I think we see some fat gain here in your stomach and maybe a little bit in the legs as well, but still, like, definition is popping through. So I feel pretty good about it, man. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, like I think we were talking, I the training has felt good and I check-in photos are always a challenge for me. Like it's hard for me. I think looking at this, like I think I look better in the December one. Obviously, there's just like more definition, which I think ultimately like makes you look bigger. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I think I said to you when we were chatting about it this week, like I don't know necessarily where the weight has gone from like that original cut to now. Like we cut down to like 212 in August and
Oh, I want to
now
compare those
here.
to now. Yeah. So you
And
guys can see the what, 4-ish months, but let's go back to that August photo, which let's see. Oh, here's your we had the before bulk picture. Let me pull that up to now and now. I wonder how much you weighed. I can't remember off the top of my head before we did our cut over the summer. You know what I mean?
yeah, I don't remember.
Dude, I think you were probably like mid 230s here.
That sounds about right, like maybe 235.
Yeah. So obviously you weren't posing, and this was a before picture for a contest that never actually panned out. Um, Shout out to
No
you, Chris
comment.
Bumstead. Let's just talk about that real fucking quick, and
Do
I
we
will
have
clip
to?
this. I would love to talk about this. I think at times, while he is a great ambassador for the sport, sometimes people just bite off a little bit more than they can chew. So Ryan did the CBum Fitness Transformation Challenge. This was here on our left. This was our before, and I'll pull up what we got to after. And you know, whether he won or not is fine. We weren't really going for the win. We were just going to like have a accountability date on the calendar that would give us something to work off of. And then here's the after-ish, right around that time frame. I uploaded the pictures in December, so you won't see it, being
I
from
mean,
the real time
these
frame.
aren't these aren't this is not the official after,
Yeah, yeah. The official after
but
was in
this
another
is
video that we did, but this is pretty representative.
yeah.
So, pretty solid cut, and we just didn't even hear back whatsoever about who won. We weren't expecting a win, obviously, but like this was damn good work. And we never even heard who won. It was never publicly announced anywhere to our knowledge. And typically, if you promise that the winner of a challenge comes and trains with the host of the challenge, you'll get some content out of that. And you'll see some semblance of the execution of what was promised being delivered. And yeah, the Chris Bumstead Fitness Challenge never did that. And then what's even crazier is they ran another challenge after that. And what was it? It was like a what, $20 entry fee, something like that.
I mean, well, you have to pay the entry fee plus if you do any of his challenges, you have to be on the app, which is like nine
$9
ninety
a
nine a
month.
month or something. So it like ends
So
up being like 50
$50.
bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world, but it's like, dude, buku bucks, big
Here's
fucking money.
here's here's the issue is like I know that he has a fuck ton of money. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that you have to like give it to this program, but what I'm saying, but if you're gonna do this, like you gotta do it right. And here's the other issue is that you and I know how to do those programs right, right? Like
Yeah, because I've done them. I've been a part.
it's all you have to do is send out some emails. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's so
literally.
easy. It's so easy to send out an email that just says like,
This was the winner. Congratulations. Thank you for
"Hey, like
participating.
winner was contacted directly. Like, thanks so much for participating." Realistically, like what you should do is you should show those people because that's what everybody wants out of those competitions. It's like they want their kind of like moment in the sun. And like also there was just no communication throughout the whole thing. Like send out some emails, keep people motivated, like keep people like locked in. Like that's kind of why people do those programs. And like, yes, I think he's a huge name. And to be honest, I generally have a lot of respect for him because I feel like I've heard great things. He seems like a genuinely nice person, et cetera, et cetera. But those programs are just like not well run. And
No.
it wouldn't even take a ton of money or manpower to fix that fact.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
so, for example, if you Google the winner of the C-Bum Fitness Transformation Challenge, the last update they did on this, like, this is the first thing that pops up, was 2021. So 2 years ago, they were more on top of their shit than now, and I guarantee his net worth has doubled since 2021, if not
easily,
tripled.
easily.
So yeah, and what was super interesting was I reached out to Goob, who covers kinda like mishandled things within the fitness industry, and his response was, "I'm looking into it." And it's like, "Were you? Were you, Goob? Did you not wanna
No,
fuck with that one?"
that
That's what
wasn't
he
it.
told me.
I thought that I thought he had said something like I'm working with him on another project right now or something like that.
Uh, I'll check it, but yeah, to me, it sounded more like he was, uh he was looking into it actively because this was, like, right around the time. Um, oh, you know what? Strangely enough, his response, which he definitely responded to me in a DM, was deleted. I don't know.
This is what I'm saying. Like it was just a little sketch. It just could have I don't know, could have been done better. It also just like makes me not want to do any of those challenges ever again. Like which I don't know, is
Oh, you know
annoying.
what? You know what? I actually misspoke. I sent this to two good profiles, so slash that from the record. I sent this to his backup because sometimes he gets banned. So he said their page got banned. I'm helping them. What does that mean?
That's what I'm telling you. That is your page getting banned does not prevent you from sending out emails. And I know you had emails because you like had to get all these people to sign up for this program. You had to get
Yep.
people to opt in. So I know that your system collects those emails. Like y'all are playing games with the wrong people. I work in marketing. I know how all of this shit functions. And like again, it's not that hard. Chris,
Yeah.
you make YouTube videos on a regular cadence. Like he was on a podcast saying that they were announcing the winner soon. And then where did that announcement happen?
So here's the solution because I don't like to just bitch. In the future, I will literally send emails for you, Chris Bumstead, for fucking free, dog. Or if you want to put some money into it, I think my guy Ryan Shaw over here has run some pretty cool programs, events.
Chris,
I think
Chris,
he
hi.
would be the
I
guy.
I could build it all for you to run itself. You wouldn't even have to send the emails out. We could build it out one time and the automated emails would go out. And then at the end, when you've reviewed it, we make one email. We can sit down and make it and write it together and it would be done. This would be an exponentially better program. Your customer service would be exponentially better. And just like have some respect for the fact that people just gave you $50. Like that might not be a lot of money to some people, but to some people, that's a lot of money. So have some
Yeah.
respect. We're
Yeah, like
happy to help.
think about like a 17-year-old that's like working a fucking shitty minimum wage job and he's like, dude, like this is like a day's work for me. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, or just like someone who this is like their entry into fitness. You know what I mean? Like they were like, "Oh,
Hmm.
I really like this guy. I'm gonna do this challenge. Like this is gonna be like my kind of like reset, start over period." And then this is how that challenge goes.
Yeah,
Like
you hear
that's not
nothing back. Not a great look.
no, and that's like sure. Should people like have more than external motivation to go to the gym? Absolutely. But you and I have talked before on this very podcast, and that about the fact that like not everybody at the outset is internally motivated. A lot of people get into the gym by external factors, right?
Hmm.
And that's how most people start. I think that's how pretty much everybody gets started. So the fact that like everybody knows that, and then you're gonna run a challenge like this, that's some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And like as a disclaimer, we mentioned it at the beginning. Like Chris is a great ambassador, a great person. I'm gonna post this and tag it at him probably around the week that his daughter is being born. So, with that being said, I hope that he handles this important matter at this time of his life because there's a hierarchy of importance. I'll say that, but just kidding. No, um, it's good to talk about because yeah, it's just like don't do shitty things. Um, but yeah, let's get back to the topic of the video, Ryan. Let's talk form, execution, intensity, the X's and O's that we all love to nerd out about in training. Um, Ryan's goal for last week within his coaching was to get back on a little bit of a recording grind at the gym. And we'll say real quick, the gym that you go to is busy and it's not always easy to get the best angles. There's some goobers in that fucking gym that like don't make it easy either. They'll stand in front of your camera almost because they have no self-awareness. So some of these videos are great, others the angle isn't perfect. So just know that going in. We didn't have the intent for it to be a perfect angle, perfect production.
There's and there's also like some things that would need another person to get the angle, and
Yep.
unfortunately, I work out by myself, much to my chagrin. Um, and so, like, trying to set a phone somewhere, like, literally, this gym is very tight. It's in New York, so there is not a lot of space in some cases beyond even just like other human beings.
Yeah, definitely. But we did the best what we could. And I wanted to open it up to you first, Ryan. What are your questions? What were you looking to get the most out of by submitting videos in for feedback?
I think for me it's twofold. One, like I just always want to make sure I'm doing things correctly to their fullest extent in terms of just like, one, is this the right form? There's a couple of exercises that are a little bit different that I just like want to make sure. Two, like, am I doing the right depth? Am I, you know, doing the right like eccentric timing, whatever it is, like just to get a gut check on that. It's hard to really gut check yourself when you're in the middle of exercises. I think everyone's brain doesn't exactly count correctly when they're in the middle of a set. And then I think the final part that we'll
Speaking
talk
of
about some
correct counting,
more.
I know Brandon Ebert's watching this.
I will have nothing to say on this subject. I have I have
For the
owned up
viewers,
I have owned up
the
to some challenges in my counting in the past.
for the
And I
viewers,
have
one time, two of my good friends, Brandon Ebert, Ryan Shaw, they both been on the channel. They were actually training together when they were both in Columbus. I think sounds like Brandon's moved to Chicago now, and you're
He's
out in
doing
New York,
summer in
so
Chicago.
he's doing summer in Chicago. Oh, so you've talked to him about
Yeah,
this.
I
You
have.
know more than me, I guess. So, um, that'd be fun for him. Love that. So they would train together, and one time Ryan and I were training, and I think it truly is like you just get really locked into the set, and sometimes like your counting's off. It's inevitable, but it was off by like 9 reps at one point, and maybe we were all training together, and you said a
We
number,
were
and
we were
Brandon and
all
I just
we were all training together, and it was not that drastically off. It wasn't 9 reps, so let's not be telling lies on the channel, Dave.
yeah, it was like
It was
5.
like it was like 3 or 4, and what had happened? Put your fucking face away, clown. It was not that bad, and what happened was I was like jumping numbers at various points. So it was like I was going from like 8 to 10. In my brain,
Yeah,
I was counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then my brain was like maxing out and went to 10. And so now
yeah.
when I do my sets, I just double count 8 or I double count 10 because my brain still fucks with me. No problem. But now I get my rep counts right. Eat shit.
Yeah. So, we call that autism where I'm from, and
We're
that's
not gonna we're not gonna call that autism here on this pod whilst I'm here. Thank you so much.
No, but, why did that come about? Can't remember.
Why are you bringing up my rep counting?
Yeah, other than just the comedic value of making fun of you.
That's what it is. That's the only reason why you brought it up.
Oh,
Because
right,
I
right,
was
right.
talking about intensity and then you said and also counting.
Yeah, yeah, so that's why checking videos is a great tool. Check your form, check your intensity, check your counting. Some people don't even count, they'll just record every set and count that way, and I think that's a little excessive, and you should probably go touch grass and get some pussy, but that's just my thought. Um,
All
dead
right.
ass, there's some people like that, I'm like, "Oh, brother, I don't
I
know."
mean I hear you. I hear you. I feel like we maybe went a little hard after those people. Uh
No,
those
no, no,
people do those people do seem to be the type that might come for you in the comments. I just want to put that out there.
oh, fuck. I'd love it. No, sometimes I'm just like, I see like, and I did this myself, back in the day. I'm just like, man, you care a little bit. Like, you don't have to care that much about this. You'll get just as good, if not better gains if you're not that neurotic. Like, you know, there's a lot of power in just like, you know, go get some pussy, like, you know what I'm saying?
You know that I don't. You you just know.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate being put on blast in this way on this channel.
Yeah, but you're not neurotic like that. I'm not putting you on blast.
I mean, I am not neurotic like that, but we can't. You you can't say I'm not neurotic, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For sure.
I'm I'm aware of my issues, at least.
Mhm. You got a lot of them too.
Okay, you know what? Once again, you want me to start roasting your ass? You want me to start putting your ass on blast here? Because I'll do it.
Yes.
I will
I
I
know,
will put your
I know.
ass I will put your ass on Front Street.
Oh, let's do it. Whenever the opportunity comes, feel free
Bro,
to take it.
Jesus
Feel free.
Christ.
You know what you know I love when you put me on blast.
Yeah, you don't though, because I take it and I make jokes about putting you on blast, whatever. When I put you on blast, you get defensive. You start coming for my
No.
neck.
No, literally not. I can think of multiple instances where I've not done that.
All right, cutie. You keep going. You keep shining. Let's carry on with this pod.
Alrighty. So I have a couple of videos that I wanted to check over, give some feedback on, but definitely as we go, if you see any that you particularly had questions on, let me know so we can get into it that way. But let's go ahead, pull up this tab here.
Here goes the internet again. Shit in the bed, Dave. Wonder if this is still recording.
Dude, I don't even know. My Wi-Fi didn't go out that time, but
Did you hear? Could you hear me?
no, not at all. What'd you say?
Oh yeah. I was like, I wonder if this is still recording. Like, I wonder if I can say something and when Dave goes back to edit it, it'll be here.
I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Alrighty, can you see? All right, we can see that. So my apologies if this pops up with some audio of my voice initially. We're gonna see what we can do. Um, wanted to
Can
cover the
you?
machine fly. Sorry, go ahead.
So when you pull up videos in your backend, like in
Mhm.
this view, can you pull up side by side videos of like
Never
things?
tried that. Never tried that, but maybe.
I I mean, I understand that PTT is what it is, right? And like there's nothing, it's kind of just like that the program is built as it's built. It doesn't really get a lot of maintenance. But there could just like there's just a lot of like really easy, simple functionalities that would like make it so much better for the clients because there are so many things that you can do and see that I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I can bring that up too because they have a Facebook group that they're pretty active and replying on. So let me know, and I'll send them a message on Facebook, and usually they either explain it or make the change.
Well, the whole you should be able to upload videos without having to just film the video in the app
Yeah,
is a big
big
one,
one.
but I
Yeah, I'll
digress.
mention that because I don't know if anyone's actually mentioned that before. So could be worth it.
Anyway, continue on. I'm bitching again.
All right, so the one I wanted to cover first was our machine fly. Set the
So,
machine fly or pec deck up so that you'll
can
get
you
a deep stretch on your chest as you lower those handles back. And then
hear me talking
contract
right
your
now
pecs,
in the
squeezing
video?
those muscles together as if you're hugging a tree to complete the range of motion.
I don't know what that meant. What
Set the
happened, Ryan?
machine fly or pec deck up so that you'll get a deep stretch on your chest as you lower those handles back. And then contract your
Can you not watch the video without your voice?
See, that's what I'm struggling with. I have it muted, and it does sound like I'm repeatedly talking regardless.
Well, it sounded like maybe if I would, it sounded like my video was muted and but your video wasn't.
Mm, that's really fucking annoying. What's the solution here?
Can you just turn sound off for that tab?
Probably. That's a good idea. Also share audio. Yes, you're so smart. 'Cause I always
Don't
gotta
keep me
share
around because I'm pretty.
audio. Well, you're pretty too. All right.
Now let's try.
Can you hear it now?
No.
Fuck. I can hear it in my voice and I can't mute it.
You can hear it?
Yeah. Even when that's crazy.
Yeah,
Oh, well, I
but
can talk over it. It's fine.
I can't hear it,
Alrighty.
so
Yeah.
I don't
All
think
good.
that it's probably not coming out through the, like, pod.
Gotcha. Okay. No worries. Wonder if I can mute a tab. Um, my apologies. Mute site. There we go. Everything has a fix. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and just get into a couple reps here as Ryan's doing this fly. A couple things that stick out to me, and as you can see, I can kind of reference my form as well. But good range of motion there. You had to check the weight, make sure it was right. Looks like you thought it was right. So back into it, looking fucking jacked in the green Gymshark shirt. Good range of motion here, keeping your chest up nice and high. That's a big one for flies. Tempo's good. I think, do we have a 3 second tempo here? Does that sound right?
Uh, that sounds right.
So I would say maybe go like a tad bit slower. I don't hate it. Really, the difference between 2 and 3 seconds isn't a huge one. So that's like the big improvement point here. But as we can see, as we get to, let's go cover these last few reps here. And keep in mind, most things this week were 3 reps in reserve. 3 reps in reserve is actually pretty tricky to, I think 3 reps in reserve is the trickiest one personally to gauge because it's really like, man, that was hard, but like if you have 1 rep in reserve, you're like, that was damn near my last rep might not have happened. However, with 3, there's a lot of wiggle room. So let's just watch this back real quick, last couple reps, and see what we think of intensity. Good. Reps slowed down a little bit there, and he stopped the set. So the big thing that I look for when I'm thinking 3 reps in reserve, and we'll just pop back here real quick. The big thing that I'm thinking and looking for with 3 reps in reserve is the rep starts to slow down, and you understand that within a couple more reps, my form would have fallen apart. So let's watch it one more time. I want to hear what you think on this, Ryan.
I can't see it, by the way.
Oh shit, my bad. I forgot to go back. Sorry, everybody. I'm still learning StreamYard. It's a cool thing. Alrighty, last couple reps here. That one moved fast. A little slower there, as you can see. Slower still. And that's the set. So what are your thoughts, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I think you framed it out right. Like 3 RIR is probably the toughest one. Like, I think maybe could have done one more that would have like still been in that like 3 RIR range, but I think this is where the like conversation of like form and intensity starts to come in, where I'm also like notorious. I think you and I talked about this. Like, I'm notorious. Like, the drop off happens pretty fast for me versus
Mhm.
like some other people. Like, maybe it's mental. I'm sure some of it is mental, but typically like the fall off from a rep moving pretty well and a rep moving not very well is like it's like happens in one. It's not necessarily like as a gradual over the time thing. So I probably could have gone one more, and maybe the form would have been like a little less tight at one more rep, but probably would have
I
still
don't
been
know about
okay.
that, honestly. I think your form still would have been good.
I, I'm just like trying to think back to like what was going through my brain during that
Mhm.
set. So who's to say?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's a nitpicky thing, but, I think it was a really good set. I think, I'm in agreeance with you, maybe 1 more, but that's, like, a pretty solid 3 reps in reserve. A lot of people think, like, "Man, like, is that enough?" Because, like, "Oh, he had more in the tank." Is that enough to still get a good training stimulus? That is still a great set in that you're still getting a great training stimulus. Let's just run that back one last time here. So, like, I think this was one of the last one of 2 reps here. You can see it in his face. He's working. He's getting that deep stretch. Rep slowed down. I guess, I think form could have stayed on point for more reps, but we're taking advantage of a periodized hypertrophy program. That's the point. Is we want to start off with these first couple weeks with a little bit less intensity and then ramp it up from there. So I think we don't have to hit that any much harder. We can go on to the next thing I wanted to talk about. I think it was a good set though, man. What do you thinking? Any other questions? Any other thoughts?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think the like pec flies or like whatever fly machine like that is probably one of for me always like a really good chest stimulus. Like just always is a exercise that I can like really feel. So you know,
Definitely.
the
Yeah.
better we can make it, the better I feel like it is for like growth and training purposes.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Alrighty. Just in interest of time, I want to skip over the dumbbell bench because that one was good. I didn't have any real critiques. I had just more of a point to make with it. So I'll make that point real quick as I load up this next guy. And that is when you're doing a dumbbell chest press, go low, lower than you would with a barbell. That's the whole point of using the dumbbells is to get a deeper stretch. So sometimes in the gym, go this side view here. In the gym, you're inevitably limited to about here if you're barbell benching because there's a bar hitting your chest. When you're dumbbell benching, you can go slightly lower and get a deeper stretch. Yeah, you're not going to use as much weight. Yeah, that's going to take time to build up to, but you can very clearly see from that angle that you were going deep. So just wanted to hit that real quick and say good job. I thought intensity was on point there too. But let's move on to another point that I wanted to make and a question that I had for you, which is more preference based. So as I'm loading this up here, you can kind of see me in the corner doing these. Check the angle difference that Ryan and I have when doing these overhead extensions. So we'll boot Ryan's up and kind of get to it here. We have our fucking guy, the muscle doc, up looking just absolutely juicy in the background with his posing trunks on. He's in Indiana as well, so I've seen him a time or two. But the thing I wanted to highlight here is the difference in angle. And sometimes preference is what prevails with determining what form works best. So you can see here, I have an angle that's the cable is higher than my head, and Ryan's working lower than his head. Um, I haven't tried lower than my head in a good bit because I just got in the habit of doing that. But do you feel? Have you messed around with the angle? Do you feel like there's any difference? Let me know what you're thinking.
Honestly, haven't messed around with the angle at all. I think whenever you and I first started doing this, I mean, for everyone keep in mind that all of my training knowledge and form and everything is from Dave and Dave only, basically. Um, when you and I first started doing this, I think we were doing it lower. Um,
Mhm.
and so I think that's just like what I've always done. And I don't know that I've ever tried doing it the other way, so I don't necessarily know that I have,
Mhm.
like, an answer from a preference standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's a big difference there, but it's something to play around with, and for everybody that's watching to play around with, try different angles, whether it be face pulls, overhead tricep extensions, like regular tricep extensions. Let's see what you're doing over here with this is a superset, brutal tricep superset, um, with the flat bar as well. So we go overhead into flat bar. I did have a couple things to talk about in addition, but like some people like the cable up nice and high, like Ryan has here. Other people don't put it up as high. That's more of a preference thing, but definitely a good point to look at there. Got a couple reps in here, so I'm going to keep replaying this as we go. So Ryan does a good job with these cable extensions. There's a lot of nuance to tricep cable extensions that can make them a great exercise. A lot of times people it's like a beginner friendly exercise. People just go in, press it down. They feel their triceps working a little bit. But after watching Nick Walker and Jared Feather train this movement together, I realized you can get a lot more out of this movement than a lot of people would think. So you do a good job here of getting a stretch on your triceps, whereas a lot of people, they don't really think of that stretch. They just think of the contraction as they're moving the bar. So, we see the elbows going back, tricep stretching, good contraction. But here in my video, I'll show you a little thing you could try to tweak and change here. You'll see that my torso is a little bit more toward like a 50-degree angle. And obviously, space is a constraint in this gym, but one thing to try would be try to angle your torso back a little bit more so that that bar is able to kind of follow up your body in such a way where you can get your triceps back even further. Get back
So you wanna
to,
you don't mean angle your torso back, you mean angle my hips back so my torso is more angled
yeah,
forward.
yes, yep, that's correct. Yeah, good catch. So as you can see, my ass is back, fucking looking fat, caked up. Torso's a little bit more horizontal as a result. But Ryan, I really want you to show those motherfuckers at the gym what's up. Stick that ass out, hands on your knees, shake that ass for Drake, and shake that ass for me. So something to try there for a deeper tricep stretch.
Thank you, Sexy Red.
Dude, I tell you what, I have the biggest crush on Sexy Red. I'm trying to
Of course you do.
Sexy Red.
You're trying
If you need,
you're trying to what? You're trying to what, Dave?
I'm trying to wife her up.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, right.
Sexy Red, deep aspirations of a trophy husband. I'll cook for you. I'll clean for you. Go make that money, girl. Everything's taken care of. You know what I mean?
Deep aspirations is right.
Yeah. Oh, I'll treat you good too, Sexy Red. I promise that.
Jesus fucking Christ. Give me
Every
all
way.
this
Now,
in
I'll tuck you
pod.
in bed at night. Give you water after your shows. I know you're probably dehydrated. Yeah, that's my wife.
All right. Tricep extensions. Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely a good thing. Good thing that we looked into there. All righty, back into, I believe this was our first leg day. Really only wanted to talk about hack squats here. Good set. Want to watch through it. I actually have Jared Feather in the video here just because I don't know. I must have got lazy and never updated this to one of my videos. So I'll probably have to get back on my exercise library bullshit. But Ryan's locking in. Good hack squat here at this gym. As you can see, he's got his squat shoes on. That's important. If you don't squat in squat shoes, I think you're leaving gains on the table. I don't care who you are. Once again, here, I think we had a 3-second eccentric tempo programmed. Pretty on point. I personally go a little slower, but that's more of a preference thing. But like, let's count it out here: 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Can't hate. That's the 3-second eccentric right there. So I wouldn't necessarily go faster than this for most people. I think when people go faster than this, you're just losing tension, putting a little bit of stress on your joints that you don't need to. So keep that in mind. But as we near the end of this set, we'll see the reps are starting to slow down. And with leg training specifically, I think inevitably you'll see a greater slowdown of reps just because it is like very demanding. But fighting through that a little bit longer than you would for something like that chest fly, where the muscle group is much smaller, you'll see a quicker fall off. Most times people can grind through those tough reps on legs much, much farther than they think. So now that we got to the end of the set, let's get back to the last couple reps and really break it down. So everything's staying on point. Tempo is just about perfect as we get to these challenging reps. Don't ever change your tempo just because the reps are challenging. Form is still on point, depth is still on point, everything's looking great. So I'll let you kind of give me your feedback for the intensity here. Do you think that was a good 3 RIR? You think you had one more? What do you think? Give me
So I can tell
one
you
review.
a little bit from this that like I definitely like was like my I think lower back was starting to like come off the like mat a little bit more
Mhm.
towards the end here, which maybe it's just like bringing like belting up for this in the future. And also I think this is going to a little bit of the conversation that I think we'll also maybe get to with I don't know if you're planning on showing leg press or not, but this was a heavier weight than what was prescribed, like by not a lot, but like enough. And so I think my brain was like, well, you're doing more
Mhm.
reps at a heavier weight than you were supposed to, and kind of started to like turn off a little bit faster. For me, definitely like my mental taps out before my body does for sure every time. So I think there's probably like one more rep in there, maybe two to get at that 3 RIR. I think it was like good, not great.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Um, I agree 100%. Yeah, the belt, we've had that discussion. Sometimes, I know you are on the move and you have a lot of shit to carry with you. Life gets in the way at times, but really, like, if you can, trying to get that belt. Um, a lot of people don't belt up for hypertrophy training because they're just like, oh, like I'm not training for strength. I'm not doing 1 rep maxes or 3 rep maxes. I don't need to belt up. But like the more you can limit the limiting factors, so like the more you can really just focus the intensity and stimulus to your quads rather than having like your low back fatigue, that's always going to be more beneficial. So good idea to think about the belt there. And I think, you're either right there at 3 or 4 RIR, which is fine. Um, Getting super nitpicky on reps in reserve is kind of it makes a difference over time, but like if you're always like, oh, like you could have got one more, you could have got one more, it all kind of washes out because there's going to be sets where you were supposed to hit 3 reps in reserve, but you actually went to two. So it's all kind of like it shakes out at the end type of deal. But when
Yeah.
you see persistently in the videos, which we saw in the past, and we worked on that in the past, when you persistently see, man, there's just a little bit here in the tank on most sets, then that's when you want to really address it and focus your mental on increasing intensity. But I think it was a pretty solid set.
Could have been worse.
Agree. I just kind of want to pop this one up for the goods. Maybe make a thumbnail out of this one.
Why
Cause
are you
why you
bringing
so
up?
caked up on a Thursday afternoon? You and Jared.
You're not sharing. I can't see whatever it is that you're looking at.
Oh shit, dog. You're about to be in for a treat. I gotta remember to shift my view back. Shift 6. Look at that. Hands on your knees. Hands
Oh,
on your knees.
you can't see no cake in this video. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
There's nothing you can't see it. There's not an angle you can see anything.
You got Jared right here and you right here. Oof. That thing is hanging, if you
Clown
ask
man.
me. Alrighty, let's move on to our poll session. A lot of this was really good. Didn't have many critiques here. So we'll kind of fly through this a little bit quicker. This one was a thing that I wanted to question with the angle. So generally with this exercise, what I'm trying to get people to do is really focus on warming up lats and like mid back. Some people like the neutral grip better than a pronated. That's really up to preference. I've had people tell me just like, "Hey, I know you program pronated, but this feels better neutral." That's always an option too to bring up to the coach. Like, "Hey, I know you have this grip program, but it just doesn't always work for me." If there's a specific reason why they want you to hit that grip, then they'll tell you. But most of the time, I think coaches would be like, "Oh, for sure, go with what gets you better back activation." And from this angle specifically, it might be skewing it. So that's why I want to roll this here. Looks like we're kind of pulling this elbow up pretty high, but is that an angle thing, or do you think that's more of a actual execution thing?
I mean, I'm thinking about pulling like here.
Mhm. So I would
Like
actually pull a little bit lower.
so like
Yeah.
at shoulder height.
Yep. Yeah, a little bit
Okay.
more lat with that, a little less rear delt.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
but
I think I was going more for rear delt than I was for lat with this.
mhm, mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and that's something that I definitely need to communicate better is like the actual intent of of each one. You know, like one thing that Bryce in Progressive Performance, they have like just a crazy Excel sheet that like intent is one of the things there. And I don't have that at PTD, but that's a valuable thing to express in like notes if that's not the case. So it's a good learning moment for me as well as a coach. But yeah, keep in mind the angles at which you pull, they definitely affect the musculature being targeted. So just a general thing there to keep an eye on with your own videos for the people at home. Another fun one here, we'll let this roll and just talk about it a little bit. It's one of the best machines that
I hate these.
you hate them. Why do you hate them?
I mean, they're just hard. They're really tough, and also like every time I do them, frankly, I feel like I'm gonna fucking vomit.
Yeah. Yeah, so with this machine specifically, the Arsenal chest supported rail, it's really heavy. So like you'll see people try to stack on like a plate or two plates each side. And it's just not happening. 25s are your best friend here, or maybe one plate for most people that aren't enhanced. But a couple really good things that I want to focus in on as I zoom in here. I'll kind of roll it back. We have, let's say first and foremost, Versa grips, because with this machine and many rowing machines, your grip will give out before your back. I don't give a fuck that you want to train your forearms. If you want to train your forearms, do forearm curls. We're training back. So strap in, motherfuckers. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Whatever. So, a couple good things to target here, and you can see me doing these in the upper corner as well. I have a lot of thoracic um, rounding and extension. Um, Ryan doesn't have as much, but that's actually fine. I've actually kind of stopped rounding forward as much just because there's a time and place for it, but it doesn't always feel great for me. So I do feel like we're getting a lot of scapular protraction and retraction here. Big part of what we're going for with these rows. Driving back with the elbows to get um, just the overall back musculature. We're not yanking it with your arms. You know how I feel about yanking it. And good solid tempo on the way down. I know this is heavy. I know it's a challenge, but tempo stayed pretty solid throughout. Really, the tempo on back movements like this is just as important, if not more important, than driving it back and getting a ton of reps. So, really good way to increase your time under tension and really target the muscle well here. I don't have too much feedback. I think this is a really good set intensity wise. You know, as we can see in Ryan's face, it was getting hard. He's not faking that. Sometimes I'll fake it when it gets hard, but that's not Ryan's thing. So, um, moving on. Do you have any questions about that row?
Um, I think I, I think I saw a video and maybe Dr. Mike was talking about it of like how much you should come up. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously you're rounding and you want to not use momentum, but also like you still want to, I don't want to say arch
Yeah.
isn't what I'm looking for. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Like it'd be like a thoracic extension, which is like an arch pretty much.
Yeah, it's just like lifting up, like thinking about lifting up, not like lifting back, but lifting up as you come up. I think,
Yeah. No, that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. This comes across with like almost every horizontal row variation, almost. So a lot of times you'll see people, and I'll get my side view once again. You'll see people that just stay. This is what I call missionary people, right? They just stay in the plane. They let it work, and that's fine. You know, it gets the job done. It feels good. You're effective here. You're gonna make some progress. Some things happen. But let me tell you what, if you can just get a little bit of movement, just let it flow a little bit, you know, extension. Wait, no, 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 no. Protraction, retraction, that type of deal. It's gonna make it hit way better. They're never gonna forget you after that. So just make sure that you're not overdoing it because no one likes someone that goes too hard. You got to keep it. You got to keep it in the range. You know, you got one side here, it's too violent. You got the other side here, it's too vanilla. Keep it in the pocket. So What I mean by that is there's a little bit of, like Ryan said and alluded to earlier, there's something to be said for a little bit of arching, a little bit of that thoracic extension, because you're kind of like using your body to you're you're moving your body to put yourself in a better position to get a good contraction. However, we don't want to cheat the row and use momentum to lift the weight up, because then we're deviating from the purpose of tension to our back muscles. I'm thinking specifically, I don't know if you've used this machine much. I'm trying to think. I don't think many of your gyms have had this, but like the hammer strength row, the chest support here, you know what I'm
Oh yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's one where if you just stay locked in, like, yeah, you're getting a great contraction, but it could be a lot better if you round forward a little bit and then almost use like a slight arch to really get back, drive those elbows back, and squeeze your back even deeper. So there's a kind of like a fine line of nuance. I think if I were to highlight my view, you can really see this because my protraction and retraction is bigger. It's about the only thing that's bigger on me. But as you can see, I have a
It's
good
just
amount of protraction here. I'm not
just
like cheating
no,
the
we're
row
just
back.
that's just patently untrue, but okay. I just we're not you don't get to just like throw those things in there and gloss over them.
I was flowing, bro. You just interrupted. I can't believe you did that. So,
I don't care. Eat
uh,
shit.
yeah, not cheating the weight back, but just arching back a little bit to get a better contraction. And I think we hit that one pretty well there. Any other things you wanted specific advice on here? Because, man, I think form's on point. I looked over these the other day. The pull day stuff is looking good, but if you have any other specific questions, love to get to it.
Oh, I mean, I think pull day right now is probably my in terms of like form and activation and like growth is probably my best day. So
Yeah,
feeling
dope.
okay at the moment.
Okay, okay, good. Let's move it right along. I have a couple things to highlight, and really, let's start with. I think it might be this one. No, next one. Sorry. Where's that fucking push day? There it is. No, this is the general upper day. My apologies. So, want to start
There is no
off.
second push day. There's
Yeah, it's just a upper day.
yeah.
So I want to start off with this bench press because Ryan and I have recently had the discussion. Brian's pressed two plates in like a powerlifting style bench, but when you're using the bench press for hypertrophy training, which I don't care who you are, it's still a good hypertrophy exercise for chest and triceps. A lot of people will shit on bench, but I think it's still good. But they shit on it probably because they are ego lifting and trying to go way too heavy. So in this video, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I myself am doing like what 175, which is a little heavy, admittedly. Ryan's doing 155 here. When you are bench pressing, go much lighter than you think for strength when the intent is hypertrophy. So, you've pressed over 225, but this is 155. The tempo, the pause, the depth, that's all important stuff when it comes to hypertrophy training. Um, so let's actually get down and break it down a little bit further as the set wears on. So tempo is real slow. I guess we had a brief pause maybe. I'm forgetting exactly what was programmed, but I'd say that's a brief pause, pretty solid for our intents and purposes. Um, but yeah, good depth, good arch in your back. Another thing people think they shouldn't do with hypertrophy training because it like people in powerlifting use the arch to limit range of motion. In hypertrophy training, we're doing it to get a deeper stretch on your pecs. So you don't want to bench with a flat back, regardless if you're powerlifting or if you're doing strength training. But I really don't have much to pick apart here other than to just highlight and hype Ryan up. This is a perfect example of, he might throw 185 on and try to ego lift, but for hypertrophy, it's just not going to be super effective. But if you can just tell yourself to back it down a little bit and really focus on tempo, you'll be much better off. So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts within the bench press? And I know we've talked about it a little bit recently, but let me know what your thoughts are.
No, I mean, nothing crazy. I think it's just like such a change from, I mean, I haven't really seriously benched in a long time, so very different from when we were doing it, 4 years ago versus now.
Yeah, definitely. We were powerlifting specifically years ago, so definitely switching it up a little bit. But good job with that. I know you specifically were wondering about your chest press flies, incline fly press. People call it different things. So I'm going to pull that up and we will break it down. I actually didn't have many critiques about this. So you have to let me know what you're thinking and then we can address the questions from there. But let's check out these fly presses. Great movement. If you haven't tried it, give it a run in your next program. But I'm just going to watch this again while you watch it as well. We have Jared just masterfully demonstrating in the upper right corner. God, Jared. Once again, I mentioned my affinity towards sexy red. You're right up there as well, my guy. If you ever need someone to cook and clean, fucking retire me, daddy. I'll take good care of you. This is a long ass set. This one does take a long ass time.
I mean, it's like 15 on like a
Yeah.
3-second eccentric, so
Yeah. Yeah. What are your questions?
I don't know, I guess like are you is it a push or is it a fly? Like, are you just calling it a fly because it's a wider because of the width? Like,
I
are you
think,
thinking push up and kind of like in and then back out? Or are you thinking, because like a fly is more of a wrap motion.
yep. Yeah. I think this is like 70% fly, 30% push. Um,
Okay, so in my head, I definitely was approaching it the other way. Does that read?
yeah. Yeah. I mean, with the weight that you're using, I can see that. I mean, still, these are good reps. Like, you're not with the weight that you're using, 35, I would probably go more toward like 25 to 30 with my working weight, and Ryan and I are pretty similar in strength for most things. Um, I think that definitely
That's just
reflects
not true
on.
anymore.
Nah, I mean, we're pretty. I mean, all in all, you got me on some things. I got you on some things,
I don't think I have you on anything, my guy.
dude. You can definitely most leg things you got me, and shoulder things for sure. That's
Barely,
just a
maybe.
fact.
Anyway,
So I would next week bump the weight down a little bit more, and I mean, it's still these are still good reps, so this is really splitting hairs, but just think of it more as like the flying motion, especially out of the bottom. So from here, I can see out of the bottom, you're initiating it as if it were a press. Think of it as a fly out of the bottom. And because it's heavier and because you are wide, maybe let's say next week you use 30s, but you might fly. If you were just doing a set of flies, you might use 25s. Just an example. It's probably not 100% accurate. But the goal here is to go a little bit heavier and like incorporate both of those movements. So you're getting that deep stretch, you're initiating it back up with the flying motion, and then you're just finishing it by pressing. So yeah, I
yeah,
think
I'm gonna have
overall
to, I
that's
mean, I'm gonna have to do it
keep
again.
working.
The mechanics of it are not sitting great in my brain, so I'll just have to like give it another shot next week and see what happens.
Yeah,
Like I,
it's
I
a
get it
process.
in theory, but like to try to bring something like I think my body makes more sense out of trying to press it from the bottom and fly it at the top and not the other way around.
Yeah. And it's interesting that's also kind of my fault because um, when I probably put these in here a little over a year ago as a custom exercise. In the RP app, they actually call these fly presses. I have it as press fly, so I might have to go in there. I'm actually going to make a note to update that a little bit. So I'm glad that we caught that fly press from press fly. So good catch. I'm glad we're doing this for my purposes as well, not just yours. But the one thing that I feel like we really need to work on, we've done these together, and don't really think that there were I would never say these are bad, but this is probably our biggest point of improvement is the full round lateral raise. This for anyone that hasn't ever tried these will fuck you up. So we'll watch this one a couple times and talk through it. So first thing I think that will strangely help a lot here is actually using Versa grips. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but especially with these, because you are kind of shifting in multiple like planes um, of motion here. You're going sagittal and frontal. I think I suck at planes, but there's two different planes. So with those different planes, I think locking it in and eliminating grip, it just helps. I don't have a great explanation for that, but to me, it looks like maybe we're losing a little tension throughout the reps, or something is just slightly off, and that might just be, because everybody has individual differences. But how do these feel for you generally?
I gotta be honest, they're not the best. I think there's like a lingering like shoulder thing that I have going on. And so this from 90 to the top and then back down is not the best feeling for me.
Mhm. And I wonder if we played with that a little bit, went down a little bit in the weight and played with it a little bit, how that would go. Because as you can see, I wanna zoom in on mine a little bit here. I'm not like the fucking ultimate authority for form. Don't get me wrong when I do this, but mine almost sweep out in a little bit of a smoother range here. I almost go a little bit wider out laterally too. It looks like we're in the sagittal plane, which is like, once again, I fucking suck with my planes, so I should probably just stop saying that. But like in front of your body, looks like we're maybe a little bit too in front of your body, which with a lateral raise, a traditional lateral raise, that's fine. But with these, it's a little different. So I would almost come out a little wider, like almost to 90, not quite, but almost. And then sweep up that way. And that might eliminate some of the funkiness in your shoulder. So, like, you can try that right now. To me, even as I do that, as I go wider all the way up, it feels a little bit better than coming here and all the way up. Like, I feel like a slight pinch in my anterior delts. Not sure if that feels any different from you or for you, but that's kind of what I feel when I do that. So that'll be something to think of. You feel any difference?
I mean, honestly, not really.
Hmm.
But again, like I think there's more of like a yeah, it's there's just like there's some shoulder stuff going on.
Yeah. Yeah, so that'll be one that we continually refine and work with. But I'll say, just in general, for people wanting to try the full ROM lateral raises, um, go light, go real light, try to make it as fluid and smooth as possible. And yeah, like the last thing, not to beat a dead horse, I think maybe we're like losing tension slightly at the top. And then that makes it a little bit harder, like we have to almost like catch it, which puts a little bit of strain on the shoulder, like right here. Wish I could
You're
go
not
slower.
sharing
Maybe
again.
I can. Okay, let me go slow. There we go. Shift 6. There we go. Alrighty. So start the lateral raise. Pretty solid there. It's almost like there's like a slight loss of tension at the top, how they kind of like waggle there. But I always try to keep like I always try to think about like right here on like where the acromion process is. I believe that's what it is. I'm keeping that tension the whole time at the top, and then just like slowly lowering it down. It looks like maybe it was almost like we're here, and then oh, I got to stabilize on the way down, which can definitely put some stress on your shoulder.
Yeah.
So a couple things to play with there, but still, tempo's on point. I think intensity's on point. So just a few tweaks, and we could really just make this a useful tool in the toolbox. But in general, man, I feel like we covered a lot there. We're at an hour 15 almost. Do you have any other specific forum questions? Any other process questions that you think people should look to highlight with their own training as well?
No, I mean, I, I think that like RIR thing is like the biggest challenge, especially if you're training by yourself. And like, I think this is not your problem or your fault, but I think like part of submitting these videos is that it's like there's no you can't make correction in real time. So like we're now reviewing after the fact to say like
Hmm.
RIR wasn't where it should have been on some things. I think that's the hardest thing when you if you train by yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it's like you can't it's not like you can't find a spotter or something, but it's a little hard in a new gym or a new place to find a full like new training partner that is on the same page and on the same like intensity level that you are.
Oh, for sure. And
As much as
Ryan
Dave
and I talked
always
about this.
gives me shit for it.
I'm like, dog, you just got to talk to people. But Ryan's like,
I
oh,
do
people
talk
are
to
scared.
people, but I do talk to people, but that talking to people and finding a training partner, like that's a different story, dude. Like,
Nah, definitely. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But
it's not like I'm going in and not conversing with other people. Like I'm a human being and I do know how to interact with society. I'm just
you know who you need to talk to in there?
who?
That one female trainer that we know.
Absolutely not. We don't know. We
uh,
don't know her. We
we
don't
don't
know
know her.
her.
He doesn't know anyone
And
here either.
whatever she is doing is a fantasy and a farce.
Yeah, literally. If you ever want to just waste $100, I would recommend just burning $100 bill over working with this trainer because that would probably be a more amusing and useful way to spend your time. But
Okay, it's really wild out here sometimes, dude. It is fucking
it is.
wild.
Hey, but you're in New York City. People pay for it, man. People will do it
Yeah.
for some reason. But Ryan, I feel like we covered some good ground here, man. Any other closing notes for the people before we sign off?
No, I got nothing else. I'm not. I don't have much to contribute today.
You're contributing a ton, and we appreciate you for that. So I'll say, definitely appreciate you letting us scrutinize you and get in nitty gritty. So go ahead, everybody, show your appreciation for Ryan. Go ahead and follow
Wow.
Ryan. Yeah, buddy.
Wow.
You know,
The
we
banner.
appreciate you, Ryan. The banner is flowing. Ryan's been making some really cool content, the occasional thirst trap. So you never know what you'll see on Instagram, but there's
I
his
don't. I'm not thirst trapping.
bro. You straight up said you said
Oh, that okay. That was a joke, and that was on my
G
Instagram
wagon.
story. That was a
Yeah,
joke,
you
and I was on
thirst
my
trapping,
Instagram
homie.
story. Fuck
You
it.
thirst trapping.
You have posted the exact same shit.
Oh no, I don't think so. But yeah, definitely go follow Ryan. He has some really, really cool fashion content popping off too. So go support Ryan, learn a little something, get entertained, and comment GYAT on every post. And he'll appreciate that. So next, just a friendly reminder, if you're new here, or if you've been around for a minute, you already know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get that algorithm pumping. You feel me? And I definitely want to be making more YouTube videos like this because they're just so fun, so easy to put out. So with that being said, shoot me a DM for form analysis. So I want to do a couple of these where whether I know you or whether I don't know you, we delve in, pick apart the video, and make some content out of it too, because it's like a great opportunity to refine my coaching to improve your form. So go ahead, reach out on Instagram, um, hit me with a DM. We can find a time to do this. So, and then maybe you want to coach with me too, and we do that. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and sign off. Ryan, do you want to like lead us off, or you want to like finish us off? Maybe like say a prayer or give us a mantra, something of the sort.
Listen to Dave's training advice. Stay away from Dave's life advice.
You couldn't be more on point with that. So, with that being said, we appreciate you and thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Ryan, once again for taking time to do this video. We'll catch y'all soon.